afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, amazing Propagandacast from your host, PElvl10, master propaganda hero, like defender of the fatherland, the one you all truly love and wish to aspire to be. Off here to a 1 vs 1 on the ever so lost glider, where even the glider is lost because it's not there any longer. It's a mystery where it went to. But a 1 vs 1 here in the north, we got PElvl10Weekend. I'm just going to call him PE, fighting here for the Americans, freedom, democracy. Fighting for the 3rd Armored Division, tasked with clearing out this area, helped by the Krauts under the command of Jove. Fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Fighting here for the 17th SS Panzer Guts von Berlichingen with Jägerarme, Luftwaffe Supply Doctrine and Lightning War Doctrine versus Mechanized Recon Support and Rifle Company. Triple limited bulletins there on both sides. Grenadier MD42 Pioneer start there for Jove, and double rifleman here for PE as he moves eastwards. Initially there, a bit of wiring here to basically deny access here. In this case, more specifically, he's creating a trap in a sense. So, worst we got Jove, then notice sandbagged off here in a way so his opponent can't really use the sandbag, so theoretically just a bit, but either way he can use it to help defend around the area here. Gonna do some eastwards, so Jove will be splitting up there. And we got more sandbags here. MD42 moving up here, aggressively covering the area, probably worried about P here pushing straight for the fuel. An aggressive destructive move which could put Jove in a bad spot if successfully carried out. More grenadiers on the way there for Jove. P is most likely just going to push for more riflemen. That would certainly be the logical assumption. They could go for mortars or re-echelons, even go for a very early ambulance, but I don't think you'd go for like an ambulance less than 2 minutes into the game. That'd be something else. But there you go. Once he's scouted the area, he's going to move the machine gun ahead more likely. Just, possibly pop up here to cover the area there, allowing you to see some more territory swiftly. Single is going to dying for Jove and the 17th SS Panzer Grenadier Division. Guts von Berlichingen, one of the few Panzer Grenadier divisions active fight on the Western Front, late stage of the war. That's a fun little note. It says most of them actually fought either in Italy or on the Eastern Front. The key to understanding a German Panzer Grenadier division is that basically they were just a largely motorized infantry division. While they had Panzer in the name, they generally did not have tanks. At most they would have assault guns in their Panzer battalion, which they would have one, and that would usually been Stu 3Gs. Actually Stu 4s were more common as they were apparently used for that purpose. Little fun side note, they I suppose could also be equipped with headsets if it came down to it. Rarely would they have had access to Panzers, but that would usually be the part, like sort of really elite, or if they got unlucky and got the Panzers from somewhere else. It's a little fun fact there. In the south, we've got Gunners fighting with rifling and mortar on the way there for P to help counter any sort of Joe's machine gun antics, and of course just deal with any ducking Germans. Grenadier MD42 Pioneer still moving about here, trying to catch in rifle here. So slow tempo here in the east. Wiring off here, as you might notice, he's basically looking to just deny houses. Otherwise, it seems like he's just trying to bait Jove into the bomb into the house and then somehow leave himself stuck there, since this does not prevent entry, but only if you try then to exit, if you don't have enough troops, you get stuck there. So it's a bit of a sneaky trap that P's got going. It's not one you actually see very commonly used. In fact, it's the first time I've seen someone actually try it specifically like that. So it's a bit interesting to note there. Rifling about here in the east, Jove there by head snuck up, getting behind P's lines and actually going for the fuel point there. Clever maneuver there, I would say, by Jove. Rifleman to an important neutral there. Of course, Mort's going to be finding pretty close range here to the Grenadiers as well. That's going to force retreat from Jove. Sand preventing him from entering the point neutral. I would say it was a really good attempt there by Jove, but if he does not retreat soon, it could be a wipe. And in fact, it looks like it's going to be a wipe unless, well, in this case, the Grenadiers retreating right past the cover does increase the chances of not getting horribly murdered. Though the Rifleman is going to be up on the retreat path there and likely finish off the job there, leaving Jove short one Grenadier squad here in the early game, which is going to be quite painful. 240 manpower gone. Should probably get the force here in the west moving. He should need to pressure, I think, P more. The machine in particular I think could be crucial here, even with the mortar about to just controlling P's movements. And certainly in the Wehrmacht USF matchup, I personally feel like a lot of it to an extent boils down to good MD42 usage. But of course, using the Grenadiers and telling you, of course, also matters a lot. But again, I feel like the MD42 is crucial there. Linus got some of those Grenadiers here. Third Grenadier squad arriving here to replace the one that got blasted to bits there by PElvl10 again. You sort of see the bit where, again, I said, like, even if it makes it a bit hard for the opponent to use cover, it's not entirely impossible. I would still block here, so I know you're probably a bit off angling it slightly better in that sense, but oh well. Machine gun remaining here might be pulled back towards the cover point there. Mortar's going to fire up there. Noting another place yet to commit to docks, and we got a very fast M20 out for PE level 10. That's actually quite interesting. Most American players never bother with it. I mean, it's not bad at all. It's just a bit expensive. They are making it cheaper now, but beyond that, it's just the issue is the anti-aircraft traffic is just in most cases a lot better than the M20, which really causes the M20 to see next to no usage overall. Which is of course unfortunate, since the M20 does have some powerful anti-tank mines, but most players never use those anyways, at which point again you're better off for the half-track. But either way, got the M20 utility guard here for PE with armoured skirts being added. And before tooming about here, rather than going for the Western Victory Point. Jove has tagged up, and certainly a fast like to make a nice comedy is going to be useful, in particular versus that M20 at 2-2 is going to be really good. So there you go, Gunners getting blasted here, Panzer fast off, and direct hit on it. Taking it down to half health, since they managed to upgrade the armoured skirts first. And you 4-2 versus Rifle inside here, pushing for the cuff point, Mortar being pushed back. Jove playing here aggressively, trying to press and keep P a bit on the defensive, and also keep him away from his territory. Bit risky, of course. We've already seen one Grenadier squad bite the dust in such adventures, but at the same time makes a lot of sense. And we got a Luftwaffe supply doctrine in a 1 versus 1 here from Jove. Outstanding. You do not get to see Luftwaffe supply doctrine a lot, and if it does happen, it's usually in a 2 versus 2. But here we are in a 1 versus 1, and Jove is going for it. By Jove. 2-2 on the way there for Jove and the 17th SS. Then this bombing in here was the Rifle up north. In the north of the church there. Ambulance out here for PE and the 3rd Armoured. Grenadiers Pioneers setting up to almost down there for Joe. We'll be seeing. Oh, we got airdrop medical supplies in there as well. Filled with sweet, sweet Panzer chocolate, which is basically what they call chocolate filled with methamphetamines. Fun fact. Well, it was called Palpatine, but that was basically just a type of methamphetamine. So yeah, little lesson there. Popping in there to grab some of it. 2-2 moving in, pushing back. Lieutenant pushing back the M20. Note that we do have anti-tank mines down here from him. And certainly if any of Joe's light vehicles hit that, that's going to be good night armoured car. Or if it's a tank that hits it, good by mobility. Meanwhile though, Joe's striking back hard. Resupply available. I imagine he's going to make use of this. Of course the question is just when and how. Panzer Grenadier around there for Job and the 17th SS. Got the M20 up here. Mortar out here, just ready to embark Joe once more as he fights for control over the cemetery against the 3rd Armoured Division. Both command has been concluded, at least for now. This is going to matter. We got telemines down from Jove, so both are laying down anti-tank mines. Of course, the only difference is Joe's not aware of it at all, because most American players never lay them down at all. So, I mean, there's certainly a great element of surprise there from PE if things go wrong for Joe. Of course, he's certainly also got some options there with the telemines. Still, PE learns some ground here in the face of the 2. He lacks any immediate counters to it, since the M20 is himself not a good counter to it. And this is kind of also again why the anti-aircraft tech just works out better, because the M20 for its cost isn't particularly cost effective as in the German light vehicles. Of course, once things get cheaper there, who knows, it might catch on a bit more. Alright, bit of skirmishing. You got the 2-2 falling back, and it is covering up as well. Far up north, we got healing reinforcement here for PE. Still a doctrine from him. And southwards, going to just move for the victory point there, and otherwise securing territory here. MG42 could stand up to move up here closer behind the Panzer Grenadier. Now the question is, when do we get to see that supply drop zone here for Jove? And we got the medical supplies, but beyond that, not so much else. There we go, advancing up the MG42. Good and active machine gun usage is, as always, critical to the Wehrmacht. Einsatzbereit. Bazooka teams up here to counter the 2-2-2. Rather than as the Panzer Grenadier, we got mines here from Joe as well. So Joe's been laying down several telemines. At least there you go, one spotted dealt with. In this regard, P certainly is playing himself as a veteran player, and certainly besides laying down anti-tank mines, because Most average American players will never do that. And wait, what? Oh, that house now has a door there. Interesting. Didn't actually used to. Fancy that, my surprise. Anyways, most American players will never lay down particular those mines, so that stands out. And of course, just anticipating tunnel mines is also a great move. And there you go, fuel crates they're being dropped down to support the 17th SS here. Got the Treasure Marine backing up the Grenadiers here. Lots of back and forth here between these two players. Nope, well, I have absolutely no idea who this guy is. I'm pretty sure it's some sort of Smurf account for someone else, but he's clearly got some skills. There you go. In this case, the Jove perhaps a bit slower. He needs to grab that fuel crate right in front of him. The rifle might actually chance getting close enough to nab it. It would be a shame there for Jove to hand over any fuel to his opponent. That would be rather dreadful. Grenadiers doing what they can there. And he did manage it. Jove was too slow. He did manage to grab a fuel crate there from under Jove's nose. Cheeky bastard, and Jove there, honestly, a bit sloppy. Bit sloppy. Definitely not okay. We'll have to explain himself a bit to Safira after this battle about that. My God, the Americans already drowning in the fuel. You had some more? You idiot, you dummkopf. Even Fat Göring wouldn't be so incompetent. You called me fat. Yes, you are fat, Göring. Too fat. Anyways, Panzer dealing with rifling up north. We got the M20 moving in here, engaging the Panzer guns up close. We got more fuel drops in here for Jove. He is pushing hard now for the next tier. There's a lot of manpower being expended on it. That is 400 manpower, and of course, well, 90 fuel. Once again, 10 fuel went off to the American player, meaning he can actually slightly push for tech fast as well. I mean a lot faster, but still, you know, Joe paid for it. 50 caliber on the way there. Grenadiers moving 14 to cover that 50 caliber. He does lack any sort of counter. We've got a mortar crew being wiped out. Sadly, can't nab it. Jove does lack any sort of flamethrowers or artillery support to deal with that machine gun in the church. Still, he can soon begin setting out that support and begin pushing out for Panzers. PE's got that major on the way. Send the army to the M20. He's going to need something else nearby to support against it. 2-2 is moving eastwards. Needs to get that machine out. That's a waste of the incendiary prison round, sadly. Nicely played, of course, by P, just negating that ability. Partly due to how small the house is, he can easily just move about there, and sadly, Joe just had anything nearby to fix the M20 in position, ensuring that the incendiary prison round, you know, well, tore it to pieces. And go 2-2 to the rescue. They're a rather belated rescue. And with the MG42 away, PE just swarms in, pouring through the gaps. I think he's trying to creep up here with a bung grenade on the 50 caliber. They're sadly not quite working out. The support core this going up for Jove, and he'll be able to push for a Panzer IV right away. Theoretically, he could even like go for double Ostwins or some Stooks if he wanted to. Well, obviously that'd be a bit silly, but he's got the fuel for it. He definitely has the fuel for it. So even if P now cuts off the fuel point from him, it doesn't matter for Joe because he's got a lot of fuel. P there could be going for the Panzer IV now, but if he's planning something else, he might stall a bit. I mean, he could go for Rifle Company right now and go for the EC8 here versus Jove. That's going to be a really good choice and a strong counter to the Panzer IV, so that forced Jove to have to go for Sturmgeschütz. And, oh, we could see a wipe here. There we go. A little wipe here for Jove against PE. Need to retreat the Panzer before they get wiped in return, which would be quite harsh. Panzer IV, though, is halfway down there for Jove. PE does go for Rifle Company to back up the 3rd Armored Division with some EC8 tanks. That's definitely going to make Jove's Panzer IVs less worthwhile, and that's going to definitely force the Stuttgart next, because a Panzer IV versus EC8 is a not exactly equal fight. The EC8 does not cost a lot more than the Panzer IV. I mean, we're talking about 15 fuel and roughly 30 manpower more, but it has more health, more armor, more penetration, I believe also more accuracy, plus smoke screens and self-repair. I mean, it's just a much better package deal than the Panzer IV in a lot of ways. So, I mean, Joe's going to be needing a Stuke here to help equalise that fight, otherwise his Panzer IV is toast. Swing hit with the Panzer Kampfwagen 4, and then he's moving up this side. Almost got the fuel point there. Nice work by Jove. They might want to back up that Panzer IV on the west. Pioneers could also do with some minesweepers, or at least flamethrowers. I mean, obviously he doesn't know he needs minesweepers, but you know, doesn't hurt. Either way though, bit of shooting here and there. Push for the fuel point to be reclaimed here by P, which of course means the western fuel point will be reclaimed by Jove eventually. Pioneers moving about. Panzer IV there holding a bit back here. No pin-up machine being added. Got the 2 rolling straight to the 5th cavalry gun is being pushed back in the east. Lieutenant moving in, and we got the Sherman EC8 out here for P level 10. Adding the 50 caliber as well on top for added firepower. And of course just added misery for Joe and the German army. Going for the Sturmgeschütz in response to this American armored threat. For the very obvious reasons, again, the Panzer IV just does not stand a very good chance. Reinforcing. Panzer there taking a nasty hit. Direct hit here from the Sherman on the Panzer IV, taking almost down to half health there. Needs to get that fixed up. Sturk halfway done. In East Connecticut to find out against the advancing Lieutenant and 50 caliber there. Roughing it, be good here, and there we go. Pops it off. Misses. Unfortunately there for Joe, victory points wise, they're actually pretty close to the front 8 versus front 13. And Sturmgeschütz ist gefechtsbereit. Sturmgeschützen bereitgestellt. Mortar on the way there for Jove. Machine gun there versus the EC8. Armor piercing rounds there from the machine gun is going to have absolutely no impact there on the EC8 unless he gets like incredibly lucky, like one dice roll in there. It looks like he's slightly shaving off some hit points there with it, but obviously it's never going to work unless like your opponent just allows it to happen. Still, bit of health there shaved off, just a tiny bit. Stug moving in. Tutu needs to escape here. Stug moving in. Rather moving for the fuel point, needs to counter-attack here to keep that out of PE's hands. It's going to be a bad omen there for Joe to lose that. Panzer good to go. Once more. 50 caliber bazooka team here following up a rather hard point, strong point there that doesn't like to crap. We got more munitions dropped in here for Jove. Bazooka firing all that on the Panzer IV. Shots bouncing. A lot of bazookas by here from P. Lots of bazookas. Oh, managed to get into the house right before the Pioneers, whereas they got a safe point there to fire at them. Reasons though getting a bit more exposed here. Could possibly taken out, but the Panzer they're going to do is managed to get away though. Fighting for the fuel point continues here. Panzer is just scrabbing about territory elsewhere. The machine gun is back at the base, ready for action. Right being pushed back here. Intense stuff here around the centre as P just keeps up the pressure against Jove. And 20 by the way, still operable there. 6 kills, and we got the 2 moving up eastwards here. Outmaneuvering the 50 cover there. Nice work with the 2-2 there. Small chance they're taking out. If P does not realise what's going on, then certainly for now that seems to be the case. The 2-2 just absolutely tears it apart. And there you go, realise it, pulls back just in the nick of time. We got the Stuhl hanging back in reserve. Might be trying to use the 2-2 as bait to draw in the tank and then shoot a bit to bits with the Sturmgeschütz. So what would Joe go for next? I mean, considering your opponent always has one EC8, I was like going to follow up with more, in which case another Stuhl would be the best way, just countering that. So we'll see what it ends up with. 2-2 halfway to Veteran C3. Rifle pushing with the fuel pump. We got the EC8 backing up. We got grenades moving ahead. We got bazookas there from the main as well. There's a total of 3 bazooka teams here for PE so far. So it indicates A values the power of the bazooka, and also B takes Jove's armored threat seriously. Of course, the power of the bazooka is you can reasonably easily get a lot of them, at which point you can really just lay down some heavy fire versus German tanks. More pioneers were there for Jove to assist with the repairing his armour. Very good idea there. Ensures you can sort of get them reasonably back in the fight fast enough, which is really important. The more time your panzers are spending off the battlefield, you know, the more you're just wasting time and resources. Gunners about to get wiped out if they don't retreat, but they got the victory point there, denying it to PE once more. But only for a brief while. We got a Benedict bunker going up here for Jove finally. Of course, he's been relying largely on the airdrop medical supplies, but decides it's not quite worth it anymore. Or at least society wants something a bit extra besides that. I mean, there's a few interpretations there. Stug, Panzer IV going for the EC8. Ooh, shot bounced. Lucky there for PE level 10. Need to pull back that Sturmgeschütz. Taking a lot of, I would say, needless fire here from PE's bazookas. Looks like Joe might be staying out for another Panzer IV. He's not just going for another Stug. P there's going for the second EC8. Going for that fifth cover. Rather exposed out in there, a bit risky. And M20 about. Laying down more mines. Nice work there. Few players in the first place lay down mines with the M20 in fuel, but keep doing it throughout the match. So, you know, thumbs up there to P. That is some serious American play. Panzer falling back. Stuka to go. We got a smoking down here as well from negating Joe's defensive position there reasonably well. Very good, very good. North Pant gun is being overwhelmed, surrounded. Ooh. Now the EC8 out, might be able to take out the rifle, maybe even be able to bait in the M20 into the mine. Falls back. Bad luck there for Jove. EC8 moving ahead, gonna just fall back soon. There you go, retreat. Don't worry, Carl, it's safe! Oh my god, the absolute filthy luck there. The Reasons came within range of spotting it right as about to hit it. That's just naughty. Denied their good M20 kill. You cheeky bastard, P. And anyways, good luck for him, but just, yeah. You're just sort of expecting it and then he gets ruined. Need to get that machine out before it gets annihilated. I think Joe might be pushing that. How we got the shooter moving up. Going straight for that E6, pushing it back. They should at this point be realising there's two E6s about, in which case again 2 Stuks would be the better choice here. He said he goes for another Panzer. I mean, 2 Panzer IVs and a Stuk can fight it, but honestly I prefer 2 Stuks, just, you know, cement your chance of just knocking out those armoured bastards. And these gunners fighting for the eastern fuel point there, a bit of skirmishing in between riflemen and grenadiers. Stuk halfway to Veterans 1, Panzer IV halfway to Veterans 2. Victory points remain, by the way, really close here. I mean, neither side is giving the other much of a chance here to sort of stick ahead for long. Second Panzer IV almost done, they're going to need to retreat. Stuk engaging, Panzer IV moving out. Lieutenant there finding his men being blasted to bits. In fact, he finds himself blasted to bits. And there you go, second Panzer IV for Jove, giving him 2 Panzer IVs and Sturmgeschütz here. There's the double EC8s. And of course, right here, the Veterans 1 EC8, of course, is gaining access to the raid unit bonus, making it much more nasty. In fact, it's getting closer to Veterans 2 already, which gives an even higher rate of fire on top of the Veterans 1 bonus. There you go, nice hit from the Sturmgeschütz, getting Veterans 1. Need to be careful with that Stuk. We got the other Panzer IV moving up. First one falling back, very close to Veterans 2 as well, and increased armour. Fighting here in the western teams, got Panzer Reservations and the Grenadiers. Victory points wise, P is getting a slight lead over Jove here. He could of course back up the 2 Panzer IVs and a Stuk with a second Stuk. That'll give him, I think, a pretty balanced force. I mean, 2 Panzer IVs and 2 Stuks will be able to handle most infantry and armour. So I think give P there a bit of a hard time. More from Joe here bombarding the eastern position there, though he seems to be just starting it slightly with the M20, or the 5th cover there, got the M20 moving to deal with that. No supporting infantry, anything like that in the eastern. Got another motion here. Interesting work there by PE. Got the mortar pushed back. Fighting around the victory point here. Panzer 4 gun, it is moving in. Other Panzer 4 almost good to go again. We got the 2 moving in here. Going for that M20, is going to finish it off. Of course, PE could try and bait it into the mine. And again, most players never expect this because most American players lay them down. And there we go, the 2-2 is kaput. An actual, honest to God, M20 mine kill. That's impressive. Skirmishing around here. Stug back for repairs. Panzer 4 shooting and missing. Let me do the light car, makes them harder to hit. You see it moving ahead here. 3 kills closing in of veterans running. Jove just goes for a lot more Panzer 4s here versus PE. And I feel like more Stugs here would be the better choice. But triple Panzer 4s and 1 Stug if all handle. Could of course also deliver a sundering blow there to PE. Definitely not impossible. Will he go for minesweepers now, by the way? He has gone for them right there. Panzer 4 gains veteran 2. They're still mindful of the EC8s. So there we go, penetrating hit there. Shot fired, bounced. And another Panzer 4 on the way there. Almost done for Jove. So the options coming to flank here. Oh! Takes out the M20 in the end. What the 222 could not do, the MG42 does. So at this stage, I would say the M20 has more than earned itself in. Partly through some of the damage, but also just taking out that 222. So not the biggest loss here for PE. Taking us the, getting more focus on the heavier armor. Panzer 4 falling back, we got the EC8s moving ahead. Fixing up the veteran Panzer 4. And we do have the EC8 here by veteran 2 and actually beginning to move towards veteran 3, which just increases its action rate of fire. Oh my goodness! Most of Joe's pioneers that got taken out. Thankfully did not get any of the squads wiped, but even that's going to be quite expensive to replace. Time consuming. PE following up here with a Jackson tank destroyer. One just coming to more EC8 to start with something a bit heavier there. Panzer 4 versus the EC8. The Stug could move forward to support though, maybe backed up with the other Panzer 4, but decides not to. We've got mines being laid down, and now just regular anti-vehicle mines. Certainly, PE understands the power of mines, how they can win wars. Oh, unit caught and whacked here. Shot it through the hedgerows and took out the mortar crew. Nice work there by Jove. Very nice work. Stug moving up. Panzer 4's good flank in and he do some damage to the EC8s as well. There we go. Shots being fired. They're mostly bouncing off the EC8's armor. And in these, well, he could actually call in the incendiary bombing run to clear out the house there. Stug halfway to veteran 2. Rather than just standing about there. Gunneries moving in. Panzer with already got white. That's a bit unfortunate there for Jove. We'll have to see what he goes for next. I mean, could go for another Stug, could go for an Ostwind, or he could, I suppose, try and lose a few more units, go for another Panzer 4. Which would then put him at a total of 4 Panzer 4s. So there you go, M36X not here for PE to back up the M4A3E8. Sherman EZ8s. Air recon's out here for Joe, a bit more doctrinal usage there. He on the other hand has just gone for the EC8, so I don't think there's been any sprints, rifle flares, white phosphors or anything like that. Big push here for the center. Stug is a bit exposed, taking most of the fire. That's not what he should be doing. Bit of a mistake there by Jove, not using its range very effectively and screening it properly. And the Stug goes down, costing us one of his biggest assets here for dealing with PE's armor, since again they had the range, the rate of fire, more important, the penetration. So that's a pretty big win there for PE. Joe's down to just 3 Panzer 4s. We can still do some good damage with them if you place them carefully, but still losing the Sturmgeschütz there hurts him quite grievously. Also good use of the smoke there to lock off some of the potential paths that Joe could support and flank with. Good use of smoke over in general there by PE, thumbs up. Like the Panzer, both EC8 shots are missed or failed to penetrate. The Jackson on the hand had absolutely no issues. They're going to strike for the centre, 50 cal they're lying about. Panzer 4's trying to just use the church here for covering fire. They are afraid to engage directly without the backing of the Sturmgeschütz. And of course now he could theoretically go for 4th Panzer 4. He's got something else planned here. Machine gun bank holding the trend down south, interesting there. Panzer 4 number 2 that needs to fall back. Oh, it's number 3. Yeah, it's number 3. E6 moving ahead there. Less than half of machine gun doing what it can, but it's being overwhelmed here by the EC8. And there we go, almost an H1. So close there for PE, so close. Rather than being bombarded by the Panzer 4, 14 kills, slowly approaching the halfway point for Veteran 3. Then Jove instead going for a performance to counter the Jackson specifically, so it indicates he's worried about it. Flare's now up from P level 10, so he's beginning to use his abilities. Very good, very good. And there we go, continues the advance here now that Jove lacks enough sort of system to tank on to thwart his armoured pushes there. Not bad at all. Panzer 4 remains here, possibly on the defensive or possibly setting up for something else there. Hard to say what Jove is thinking with that move. And he is sneaking about here. He's got munitions for a bombing strike as well. Air recons again once more for Joe to try and figure out what his opponent's up to, his weaknesses. Panzer not dealing with the machine gun in the east. He's also, as you can see, a bit weird. I think he doesn't want to stick around for too long. Or he might have been using his bait to draw away PE from the centre. Certainly in both the possibilities there. Either way, if it is bait, PE is taking it hook, line and sinker, moving everything towards the east. Though Joe doesn't quite have the force to pull it through the centre. Oh, mine went off by the sound of it. Have no idea where. Exactly. And this was the rifleman here. Mortifying the major and the has with the bazookas. Down here we got racing versus the gun. These were light machine guns. And as soon as P realizes what's going on, he just quickly pulls back towards the centre. But sadly, or fortunately for him, Joe has been making a big move there. Panzer 4 opening up. Pack 40 is no need to receive his about to list the Panzer 4 there. Careful, Joe. 4-6, 4-6. Would be a waste there to throw away the Panzer 4 like that. With so close to 2 E6 moving hit the pack a bit exposed. But landing some nice hits. Rather moving head straight to the machine gun. Now the ace machine gun crew. Veteran 3-6 kills. And Walter there is also slowly approaching on that level. Scott's now on the way, noting the Walter there has not been recruited. So what is Jove planning now? Is he going for tier 4? It certainly seems like, in which case he should be faster about it. I mean, 3 Panzer 4s and a Panther might be able to do some nice work there versus PE level 10. If handled correctly and aggressively. Now these, oh, looks like he can't seem to just make up his mind. Regular Sherman, Scott, EC8, PE is indecisive at the moment. He is very indecisive. Which is a bit interesting to note there. EC8 there gaining the ace level. Got artillery called in the centre victory point. Not bad at all. PElvl has got a now bigger lead here with Joe in terms of victory points for the M62 versus 222. And now he goes for double Scots. PE is just utterly indecisive. He really can't seem to make up his mind here. Could be a bit risky there if he keeps dithering about. Certainly gives Joe more time to just push ahead answers and threats. Yes, building the heavy Panzer corner can more or less go for the Panther as soon as it's done. Typically, I don't think he's quite got the command punch for it, so I'm going to have to go for the Sturm Panzer 4 instead of just wait a bit. So we'll see what ends up here.
75mm gun carrier.
There we go, first Scott out. Rolling forts for that one. Rather than standing about here in the south, we've got a news advancing there. We got a sniper out for Joe. An interesting choice at this stage. I mean, he's gone for the tier 4 instead of going for, say, a Panther Sturmpanzer. He ends up with a sniper. Bit of a weird build order there. We got White Fossils in there from PElvl10. We got the Pack 4 there getting bombarded, getting hammered. Hack whack, bad news there for Jove. Stuka bomb drop on the center. Almost got the rifle score, but not quite. There we go. Jove cancels sniper, goes for the Panther instead. His Panther force do seem a bit inerty, a bit worried, a bit concerned. Standing a great armored flanks against PElvl10. Either way, that's going to be double ECH, 1 Jackson, 2 Scots now versus Jove. And there's 3 Panzer forces and a Panther. There we go. Panzer Ace here, ready for Jove and the German army. And the South Guard Conditions versus the Rifleman, specifically the Lieutenant. Fixing up the EC8, points there being grabbed. Seizing back the MG42 for the fatherland, not bad, not bad. Of course, needs to be mindful of the Scots. Comes with the Pilfer Bazooka, then Panzer going for the EC8, shot bounces. Finds in. Oh, Panzer moving ahead, gets one of the Scots, needs to fall back, blitzing away there before getting taken up by the ACC and the Jackson. There you go, heavily damaged. He might risk losing it. Panther's on the way, shoots and misses the ace. EC8 gets a penetrating hit this time around, but yeah, ace EC8 takes it up. Panther 4 gaining veterancy 2 before sending that EC8 ace away. Other Panther moving up here right from the Jackson and the EC8. Panther needs to move to support here. Go. Jackson has reached veterancy 2 as well, getting flanked there by the Panther. Panther 4 trying to escape desperately. And does not, leaving Jove now just with 1 Panzer 4 and 1 Panzer 5 here versus PElvl10 CC. It's the Jackson, of course, 1 Scot. Getting very ugly, getting very hairy here for Jove. Needs to do something, I think, drastically to turn this around. Pack 40 being stolen as well there by PE. Certainly not great news there for Jove. Well, for Germany. Now the Pack 40 there for Jove and the 17th SS got this machine moving up. P. More flares off from PElvl10. Very nice work. I think what Joe needs to do is actually launch a large-scale flank somehow. So of course he doesn't have a lot of tanks for it anymore. But you know, first check for mines, then push it from trying to get behind some of PElvl10's frontline units, take them out, maybe coordinate with an incendiary bombing round and the Stuka bombing strike for some extra damage. I think that would have been the optimal tactic there for Joe. But for now, I mean, he still might have to do it just for the less resources for it, which of course only makes it harder. Air recons once more from Joe, probably trying to figure out something here, probably get an idea what he can do, maybe. Handguns repulsed by the Scot, 7 kills already, Panther moving forwards. No less, Joe lost the fuel. CoH point is now about to lose his fuel point as well here to PElvl10. And the 3rd armor division got the easy moving about there. Great hit here, Panther 4 backing up. Pack 40 landing a decent hit on the ace EC8. Needs to push it a bit further closer, needs to get the rest of the armor to back it up. Hit. Being hit with the Panzer 5. Pack those not supporting here. And the aircraft went down, leaving Joe once more blind in the skies. And another EC8 here for PElvl10, bringing up to a total of 3 EC8s and the Scot and the Jack. Nope, cancels it. Goes for another Jackson instead. Not a bad idea. I think 3 EC8s would also use to work here, in particular the ones he already got. Absolutely called in there, I think, by him. Yes, indeed. Oh, it's called in a decoy. Sneaky. Sneaky. Basically caused Jove to back off there as well. Clever. Very clever. We got 155 other points left for members of the 342 of PE level 10. There definitely needs to be some drastic maneuvers here from Jove, I think, to turn this around, but so far they do not seem to be forthcoming. Jackson there slowly approaching Veteran 3, the ace level as well. Pack 40 and Panther moving up these here. They're taking off quite a few chunks of health from Panther gaining Veteran 2-1. Rifle moving ahead and tanks moving ahead. Pack taking bombarding and getting bombarded. Pack has reached Veteran 2-1. Target weak point quickly hovers the tank. But no sign of that there. Sniping on the way for Joe again is being attempted. Jackson is there, but he doesn't have the pop cap to go for it. Machine being overwhelmed by artillery fire and lieutenant flanking up. Nice work there by PE. Things seem to be rapidly falling apart here for Joe and the 17th SS in the face of the American onslaught. The centre of the map, by the way, has been more or less just flattened by the intense fighting on display. Sniper halfway done for Jove. So right now things looking pretty bleak here for Jove. Nabbing that machine gun is going to be right under P's eyes, under his nose. Tank saying Norfolk to deal with the remaining victory point here. Got that ace EC8. And a lone grenadier squad. Not ready for that at all. Don't we have any Panzer? 9, we don't have any. Someone threw them away. Isn't that right, Ludwig? Moving up the second EC8, the gun is just going to get absolutely bombarded out of history here. Almost got the entire gun squad wiped. We got the Pack 40 getting bombarded by the Scot. 121 points left for Jove here versus the 342 of P level 10. Who's control most of the map. He's got a definite advantage. He's got a lot of armor. He's got infantry. He's got, well, some support weapons. Eric comes again from Jove. And what is he planning? More Panther Stoogs? What is Jove's recipe for, you know, getting out of this mess? So far, none seem to be really forthcoming. He's just pushing for the center again, ruthlessly and relentlessly. No matter the cost, he goes center. Almost got the EC. Oh, the Scot there. Pack getting snapped here by Jove Sniper, who's quickly under artillery fire there from the Scot. Counter attack here, straight into the Grenadier Sniper, forced to fall back. And EC8's going to look to hit the flank. Jove's got the Panther moving up, very good. And there, good rigged hit on the second EC8. Pack 4 there, exposed. The back spot there, almost taken up, but still gets from the hits on the EC8. One down to half health, the other one that is largely undamaged. Conditions are being murdered slowly. Panther moving up here to engage. There we go, gains 2 on the Panther, very good there for Jove. But is it going to be enough? He's down to 75 points. PE level 10 still has a ton of tanks, and Jove's got 2. And I'm on the tank destroyers. Going for the CoH one there to defend it. Against Jove reclaiming it. 65 points left. Pack landing a nice hit in the EC8 of Jackson Ace. EC8 Ace still continues to far away. Their machine closely murdered out. Sniper gains versus 1, but almost gains a tombstone. And the Telemine far up north finally goes off, taking out one of P's EC8s. If only taken out something sooner. Still, it's something, I guess, here for Joe. But can he take advantage of this wanton destruction of Allied armor to really pull through? People are going for another tank to replace the one demolished here by Jove and his Telemines. Panzer 4 halfway to Veteran 3. 24 points left for Jove. The action shot bounces off. Second one there goes through the Panther's frontal armour. Now they're penetrating, hitting the Panther, putting it down to, well, less than half health. Assault in the centre continues here from PElvl10, alternately flanking in, no manoeuvres, no nothing. Firefly, not Firefly, but White Phosphor, no what you want to call that. Firefly, but anyway, incendiary artillery called in on the machine gun, pushing it back. Making it harder here for Jove to defend the centre. He's down to just 9 victory points here versus PElvl10's 342. Tank striking northwards. Going there for the Grenadiers, and there we go, that's GG. Game over, a loss for Jove, a victory for America, freedom, democracy. A brutal battle here between Jove and PElvl10 with some good play there from PE. Jove would say also did well there, some nice plays in the opening parts of the game, but I feel like he reacted a bit wrongly there to PE. I think he should have gone for more Stooks rather than more Panzer IVs. A real thing that allowed him better, and I also think at times he was a bit too passive. He should also try to flank more at times. I feel like he suffered from tunnel vision, kept attacking the centre without trying to play around it. That made it much easier for P to defend, I think, and he made some good flanks here and there, you know, supported with mines. He could have done, you know, better. But nice play there, PElvl10 versus Jove. Also, a big thanks to Marcus for donating and support the Propagandacast, allowing me to keep doing your videos day after day. So thank you all for joining in. Hope you enjoyed the video, have learned some things. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. This is ProLinkedIn. Cheers. Thank you for watching. You all a wonderful audience. Hope to see you tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.